Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Sunday night live stream for studentloanjustice.org. My name is Alan Collins, founder of Student Loan Justice. We are the world's oldest, largest, and in many ways only true grassroots group fighting only and absolutely for student loan justice. We've got over 1 million people on our petition now, which is good. We've got a couple 100,000 people on our other platforms. If you are one of them, welcome. If you're not, well, welcome even more then, I guess. I didn't plan what I was going to say tonight, so I'm kind of scrambling tonight. Hey, if you have any questions or comments, throw them out. There's a lot going on. Like, this is the busiest time in the 17-year history of our organization. Things are happening very quickly, and so now is the time. This group is the place. If you're looking to get your loans canceled, if you're looking for some break on interest, like I hear people talking about, or otherwise, you came to the right place. This is ground zero in the battle for student loan justice. So we've got a great bill in the Senate right now. The most important policy point I'm going to make tonight. First of all, let me say, if you have any questions or comments and you're watching us on Twitter or Facebook, throw them out, and I'm very happy to respond to them if I can see them. So we've got a great bill right now, S-2598. This bill will return bankruptcy protections to federal student loans. There's a 10-year waiting period. It's not a perfect bill, but, and this is the most important policy point I'm going to say tonight, we are not going to see meaningful student loan cancellation unless and until we get the threat of bankruptcy back on our side, ladies and gentlemen. We've been doing this for 17 years, and we have seen any number of loan cancellation gimmicks come and go again. And as long as the threat of bankruptcy remains gone, 99% of the people who think they're getting loan cancellation will not get loan cancellation. And those who might get some loan cancellation, like tomorrow, Joe Biden could say, I'm going to cancel up to $50,000 in student loans. In the continued absence of bankruptcy protections, that'll mean $3,000 for you, $8,000 for you, nothing for you because you're in default, nothing for you because you earned too much, nothing for you because you didn't fill out your form right. That's how that's going to go. We're not going to be tricked again, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody wants to file for bankruptcy, and few people should even have to file when we get the right returned. It's having the threat, the leverage of bankruptcy rights back that's so important. And think about it this way, if you're on the fence, they're probably going to turn this lending system back on at some point. Whether it's supposedly May 1st, I think it's about a 50-50, it'll be May 1st. Do you want to, and when that happens, we are going to see a mass student loan default. You probably are not going to resume paying. Like, my best guess is that 80 or 85% of everyone is not going to resume paying. They can't, or maybe they just won't. I don't know. But even before the pandemic, 2/3 of all borrowers were not paying before the pandemic. So this lending system is toast, guys. But ask yourself this question. Do you want May 1st to roll around, and do you want to be naked and vulnerable and afraid and with your ass out on the line for the student loan collection industry to take advantage of? And they would love to, make no mistake, collection people would love to see a mass default in the continued absence of bankruptcy protections, in the continued absence of statutes of limitations, and many other consumer protections. But bankruptcy is the number one. Bankruptcy is the kryptonite of our opposition. So do you want to face that with the threat of bankruptcy on your side? At least that one little toothpick of power, that one little toothpick of constitutionally enshrined power that the founders felt was so important. They called for it in the Constitution, not the Bill of Rights, Constitution, ahead of the power to declare war, ahead of the power to raise an army, ahead of the power to build a navy. I think you probably want to have the threat of bankruptcy back on your side when they try to force people to resume paying. So we've got a great bill, as I said, S-2598. The most important action item I have for you tonight is to do our daily actions. We've been doing this for 17 years, guys, and I can tell you that nothing good happens when people sit and do nothing. These are your loans. This is your problem. We need you. we've got a massive muscle to flex right now with like 1.2 million people. If all 1.2 million people associated with our group were to actually do those daily actions, these loans would be gone in a month and a half or something. We would overwhelm every switchboard in Congress. We would overwhelm every Twitter account, etc. We've got a gigantic muscle to flex, and that is meaningless unless you sitting there help us to flex it. So if you forget everything I say tonight, remember at least to go to our website, studentloanjustice.org. And if you have never done any of our daily actions, go back and do like a month or even 2 months worth of our daily actions. They're quick. It's like Twitter stuff. Like you could probably do a month of daily actions in like maybe 20 minutes or something. Doesn't take a long time. We try and make it very easy for everybody. That's the very least that you can do to help. So I don't know, probably doesn't seem like it, but this group is a little more important than you might think. It is because of this group that we have bankruptcy legislation to fight for, which is, I'm sorry, whether you hate bankruptcy or love it, nobody loves it, by the way. It's the key to everything. We would not have a good bill to fight for, but for the people on this group. We would probably not be talking about student loan cancellation right now by executive order. That pretty much started with our group and our petition at change.org/cancel student loans that ignited that whole conversation. We started it in March 2020. We have been talking publicly about it since August 2019. It wasn't until September, I think, 2020, like 6 months after we started this petition, that finally Elizabeth Warren and Chuck Schumer embraced at least the concept. And now it's at the top of the news. I don't think that would have happened if our petition hadn't done what it did. So we need you. And this is the tip of the spear. This is the eye of the storm for the fight for student loan justice. Remember that. But more than anything, remember what I said earlier. We need you. You've got to help. These are your loans, and this is your problem. So this coming week is absolutely critical, guys. Our bill is being marked up, and we could very well, the tale may be told by the end of this week. I don't know exactly, but certainly the next, I'm going to say 2 weeks are absolutely critical. If you've never done anything for this fight, first of all, shame on you if you've been on this group for any length of time. I hope that's not true. But if you're new to the group or you've never done anything, just realize that you've got to help us. This is not a wait, watch, and worry and eat popcorn and expect that somebody else is going to pull your weight endeavor here. This is your battle. These are your loans. This is your livelihood at stake. I kid you not. And we've seen the bad guys in operation for 17 years now, guys. And believe me, they would love nothing more than for you to sit back, do nothing, wait and watch and worry, read Forbes magazine, which is the biggest swamp rag on the planet, and do nothing. That's what they want. That's what the bad guys want. So don't let yourself be lulled into a false sense of complacency by Forbes magazine or even any of the other groups out there. There's a few shady ones, I must say. Nothing good has ever happened in my experience in fighting for student loan justice unless and until people, actual real people like you and me, got up, got our knuckles a little bloody, our hands a little dirty, and put the effort forward to make this stuff happen. So, hey guys, we've got some new research. I just did this over the weekend. I looked at what were the best and the worst states in the union on student loan debt. Hopefully a few of you might recall, we looked at student loan debt versus the state budget about, I want to say 8, 9, 10 months ago. And it was shocking. But, I was just thinking about it. And to really find out which are the worst states, in other words, in which states the people are being hurt the worst by student loans, state budget doesn't really have that much to do with it. What has to do with it is, the average debt per borrower in that state, that's true among only the people who borrow. You don't do it over the whole population. But also you have to normalize that, because in, say, Tennessee, wages are much lower than in, say, Massachusetts. So you have to really normalize by the average wages that are paid in that state, which is what I did. And, pictures speak far louder than any words that I could say. So let me just throw up, almost literally. Here are the 10 worst states. This may make you ill. These are the 10 worst states. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. Okay, hold on. I've got to share my screen. Let's do a screen share, shall we? Okay, I think that's it. There it is. Perfect. Okay. Here are the 10 worst states. Do you notice any kind of a trend there? Any kind of a pattern? Do you notice like anything strange about the arrangement of those states? Yeah, ladies and gentlemen. How do I end this? Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it's all the red southern states. It's the South. Now let's have a look at the 10 best states. And lo and behold, I think there's an easier way to do this. Here are the 10 best states. Like, can you say coastal elites? Like, but for Minnesota and like North Dakota, you got your Washington, California, and you've got, and actually, if you look at the top 20 states, the green around the edges gets filled in even more. We get Maine, and I think New Hampshire, and I think Vermont. And oh yeah, New York as well. I don't think New York might not be in the top 10. My geography isn't great, but anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let me just do a quick worst states, best states. And here's the worst states again for you. You can see the calculations that I did. And by the way, all of this data is based entirely on Department of Education data and the Bureau of Labor Statistics for the wage data. So it's very solid. All the research that we do, by the way, is very solid. Was that the worst states? Yeah, those were the worst states. Here are the best states. So yeah, you see Massachusetts, Washington, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Jersey, New York, and so on. So I just thought that was kind of interesting. So yeah, guys, why is it? I'm asking rhetorically, why is it that the people who tend to oppose us in Congress tend to be conservatives? Many from those states that I just showed you, North Carolina, and I think Indiana was on there, and other conservative, Arkansas, like Tom Cotton. There's no good reason for that, ladies and gentlemen. There's no good reasons for Republicans to be opposing us. Now, we are a fiercely nonpartisan group, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Whether you're a Republican or Democrat or none of the above, or all of the above, or libertarian or communist or socialist or Zen, you're very welcome in this group. We're very glad you're here. But as a practical reality, I have to say that historically, the Republicans have opposed us. And there's no good reason for that. There's no good reason for it. Look at the worst states. So what I just showed you is very powerful stuff for us. And if you live in one of those states, Florida, any of those states, you really should be getting off your ass and going a little above and beyond. You've got to fight for your state, because clearly your elected officials are not. So we're going to be writing up a white paper around that data here tonight and tomorrow. We'll probably publish it tomorrow is my guess. But help us as we go forward. And we really need to spread the word about this, guys. I'll probably send it to the media. We may or may not get it reported on in the media. You never know. Hey, we have quite a few comments here. Let me see if I can get through them. Vanji says, put those maps on your Twitter. Yep, I'm right there with you, Vanji. They're coming. Kelly Smith says, I cannot believe Oklahoma or Kansas is not in it. Actually, Kelly, I think if you look at the worst 20 states, that's, in fact, I'm almost positive, then yes, Oklahoma and Kansas both come on. If you look at the worst 20 states, I think there's only 2 blue states on that list. I think there's 18 red states on that list, including Kansas, Oklahoma. Vanji says a call to action that would land on their email or page. Right, exactly. This is stuff that every Republican in Congress needs to be aware of, the GOP, especially people like Mitch McConnell of Kentucky, it's on the list. Lindsey Graham, South Carolina, high on the list. A few other people. Oh, that woman, Marsha Blackburn in Tennessee. Mike somebody, Brown, Braun, out of Indiana. Tom Tillis, North Carolina. These are all senators that should be helping us right now on our bill, S-2598. We need to spread the word. We need to get this in front of them, and that's never going to happen unless you help make it happen. I cannot tell you guys how important you are. I mean, I'm only one guy. I can only do so much. And, I've seen Kelly, I've known forever. Vanji does a ton of work. I mean, just in the past week, she's probably cranked out, I want to say, like 10 memes or something, some 10 very effective memes. There's people on this group that are doing the work, but it's not nearly enough. It is not nearly enough, ladies and gentlemen. In many ways, we're all we've got. We people, normal people. We don't have a marketing department. We don't have any kind of a budget to speak of. We can't hire a PR firm. None of that stuff, guys. What we have is you. What we have are people, and smart people who've been to college. Like, that should really be a massive strength of ours. So, I mean, I don't know what else I can say to tell you to get off your ass and help. And to those of you who have been doing the not necessarily pleasant, but I would say rewarding and frankly easy effort that's needed to fight this fight, I applaud you. I applaud all the people. I can't even name all the people. On any given day, there's hundreds or even thousands of people that are making the phone calls and doing the Twitter stuff, doing our daily actions, which I said, do our daily actions. Hundreds or thousands of people doing those. But, we really should have tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of people doing those daily actions. That is when this problem gets solved. And we're not like, I don't think, any other politically oriented group that I've seen on the internet. We don't want to exist. I would love nothing more than to take this banner behind me and throw it in the trash. I want these loans gone. I want them gone. I want this problem solved. We're not trying to build a freaking empire. None of that bullshit. We're trying to get these loans gone. And that will probably only happen when way more people like you help us. We know the path. We've been doing this for 17 years. We know all the trips and the tricks and the traps also, all the dead ends. We've been down them. We're not going to go down them again. So this is the group that has the right idea. And as I said, the most important thing, I'm going to say it one more time, we're not going to get meaningful student loan cancellation unless and until we get the threat of bankruptcy back. So we've got the bill, S-2598. But there's another thing, and this is, again, because of our efforts, going back even to Biden's, when we were following Joe Biden around in Iowa, and sort of pestering his campaign manager, Greg, the Biden administration, and also James Fall, somebody who we've known for over a decade now, they claim that they are going to stop opposing student loan borrowers in bankruptcy court. And that's not a perfect solution, but it's pretty good. And knock on wood, I think we're going to hear some kind of an announcement from them in the next, if I had to guess, I'd say the next 10 days. In fact, I'd say shortly after April 1st would be my guess, like the first week in April. We're going to hear what they're going to do about that. I think I would guess. Hopefully they won't string us out any longer. Like I said, guys, I want these loans gone. This lending catastrophe is a weaponized, dangerous cancer on this country. If the people in Washington, D.C. know what's good for them, they will throw it in the bath and drown it in the tub and spend maybe the next 7 years creating, I should say, a brand new higher education funding system. Hopefully that doesn't involve loans. I don't know. We're agnostic on what the future higher education lending system might look like. But if they don't, I guarantee you the Democrats are going to lose their power in Congress in this coming November. So the stakes are very high for the Democrats. I hope they do the right thing. But we're playing all the cards. You know, the one thing that would help these loans go away the quickest would be if we could get one of the Republican governors of one of these states. If we can get the Republican governors of one of these states, I need to get better with the screen share. If we can get the Republican governors, of one of these states to stand up, look at the same data we're looking at, and say, Mr. President, enough. I, Ron DeSantis, will not let the great state of Florida be conquered and enslaved by this federal debt. That's a very conservative thing to say. You know, conservatives are supposed to be fighting for their people, and they're supposed to hate big government. They're also supposed to hate the colleges too, right? So they should absolutely be on our side. If we can get Ron DeSantis or, I don't know, governor of Louisiana, the governor of Tennessee, the governor of Georgia would be number one probably. You know, the Georgia state budget is $48 billion. The people of Georgia owe $82 billion in student loan debt. It's nonsense, cartoonish, ridiculous. It's laughable how much the people of Georgia owe. So yeah, guys, we're on the right path, but we need way more muscle so that we can really crack the whip that we have. I hope that's clear. And we're close, guys. We've never been closer. In the 17-year history of our group, we've never been closer. Things are breaking every single day now, and it's really fun to watch. It's finally fun. You know, for the first, I'm going to say 14 years of our existence, it kind of sucked like all the time. And now it seems to be things are finally breaking our way, and we're getting so close. So I hope you'll take that to heart. Hey, we've got quite a few more comments here. Let me see if I can get to them all. Vanjie says, if you read the Buffalo Law Review Journal article, I think there is hope. It's a long but great journal abstract published in April 2020. Not sure what you're meaning on that, Vanjie. Haven't seen the article. Oh, also Vanjie very, very rightly points out. So the Senate bill S-2598 only pertains to federal student loans. If you have private loans, in other words, privately owned loans, like through, I don't know, Wells Fargo or SoFi or any of those people, this bill does not help you. There's another bill in the House, H.R. 4907. Steve Cohen of Tennessee is the sponsor of that bill. That bill's not doing well, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just going to be honest. I don't see it doing anything. It doesn't have any sort of inside track, doesn't have any juice behind it that I'm aware of. We as a group right now are fighting for where it makes the most sense to deploy our resources, which is our people, which is you and me. And right now that's S-2598. If there's a lot of people out there who are willing to do the hard work necessary to push hard for HR 4907, I'm game, but I got to see some action out there in the world from you all first. So that's where we're at with that bill. Hope that's clear. Yeah, I can't read that link here on the fly, Vanjie. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe I can see from your other comments and sort of discern what you're trying to say there with the Buffalo Law Review article. So let me see. Going from the top. Oh, is there a good Lynn Rossi asks, is there a corresponding House bill for returning bankruptcy to student loans? That is another piece of impending, like imminently impending news that I hope to be breaking here in the next couple of days. So I can't say right now what's going on with that, but I'll have more to say about that very, very soon. Kelly Smith says, yes, let's overwhelm them. I couldn't agree more, Kelly. We've got a freaking nuclear bomb and our fingers on the button, but we need about probably a couple 100,000 people to push that button. We need the numbers, guys. We need the numbers. Do our daily actions. Do 2 months worth of our daily actions right now and tell everybody that you know about our group and our petition, change.org/cancel student loans. So important. Vanjie says, is it possible to email all the petition signers and tell them we need you now? We can email many of the petition signers, Vanjie, not all of them. Our list for the email signers, it's about 1 in 8. So I can email something like 150,000 people at a time. It's really expensive, though. It's so expensive to keep that many emails on your thing. But we also do updates to them on a daily basis. So yeah, but guys, you can't expect this group, this organization to do all that stuff. I mean, our email list is what it is. About 150,000 people is about what we can reach on a daily basis. And, who knows? What's really going to win this game for us is everybody out there using their own networks, helping us spread the word, word of mouth. That's what's going to get it done. Computers are not going to win this battle for us. So, Vanjie also says, how about a mass Facebook group invite for all group members? Yeah, maybe, Vanjie. The architecture of Facebook is so fucking stupid. Pardon my French. They make it impossible to peaceably assemble. Like, for example, if you have a group over like 500 people large, you cannot message all the members of that group. You cannot do it. It's literally impossible. And it makes blood shoot out of my fucking eyeballs, pardon my French. But it is what it is. Facebook makes it extraordinarily hard to effectively communicate with large numbers of people, even if they decided and opted in, like decided to join your group. It's really frustrating. But yeah, guys, a lot of stuff is aligned against us as well, like technology in many ways, at least Facebook in many ways. It's going to take human beings to solve this, guys. Human beings who really care and really want these loans gone, like we want them gone. So just remember that. But yeah, we've played around with all manner of Facebook tricks to reach large numbers of people. The last time I tried advertising one of our pages on Facebook, they literally, for no discernible reason, declined to let us pay them money to advertise. And we don't have a lot of money anyways, but even still, it was a token amount, but even still, they wouldn't do it. And they deleted our entire group or the entire page without saying why they did it. Just, again, makes blood shoot out of my freaking eyes. Yeah, guys, we don't have a PR department. We don't have a marketing department like some other groups, some other very fake groups, by the way. And I don't want to go there, but let's just say there are some other people on the internet calling themselves student advocacy groups, and they are not that at all. They make money. They use their groups to prey upon borrowers, and they use the money that they make off the backs of those borrowers to buy advertising. It's a disgusting thing. Anyways, we don't have that. What we have is us, and we have normal, honest, hardworking people like Vanjie and Kelly and the other people on this group. So that's just kind of how that goes. Let me see. Oh, I don't think I'm gonna have time to get through all these comments here. But I hope I read most of the comments. And I will give a quick check up to our Twitter group. Seeing no comments on Twitter, I will only finally repeat what I said at the top of this broadcast. We've got to get S2598 passed, guys. If you have time on your hands, or even if you don't, I would hope that you would devote at least 15 minutes a day for the next month, or maybe 2 months, if that's how long it takes, to do our daily actions at a very minimum. But, honestly, I'd say go well beyond that. as I said, if we can convince even one Republican governor, like Ron DeSantis or Brian Kemp or Governor Greg Abbott of Texas or any number of other governors to do the right thing, call on the president to, at a minimum, return bankruptcy, but really probably would be strongest for the governor to stand up and just simply say, Mr. President, cancel these loans. If we can get even one Republican governor, guys, that would change the whole game. You could be that person. You could be the person that makes the perfect phone call, puts those graphs in their faces or whatever, any other data that we've put out recently, which shows how screwed the southern red states are. And if you have any questions on that, I can send you any number of articles that we've written to that point. You could be that person, and that could solve the whole entire problem. This thing is like, Ed McKinley, our fearless co-leader, says often, it's like we're chopping down a tree, and that tree is just about to fall. But it could fall that way. We don't want it to fall that way. That's a bad thing. That's where we live. That's our cabin. We want it to fall that way. And so we need right now as many people pushing that way on the tree. So yeah, guys, I hope that's clear. I hope that you're enthused. Hopefully, I hope my enthusiasm and the twinkle in my eye is sort of coming through this broadcast. But more than anything, I hope that you're inspired to help us. These are your loans. Anybody can do it. Anybody can help. We make the easy stuff very easy. Daily actions, very easy. If you're a little more clever than the average cat, be creative, be clever. There's a million things that you can be doing. You can be going to the media. You can be convincing reporters. You can go to our Medium site, studentloanjustice.medium.com. We've published probably 9 articles in the past 2 months, 4 months of very newsworthy, unbroken research that the media should be reporting on, like the thing that I said tonight. That's nowhere else in the world are you going to find that, but for our group. I could rattle off a few other quick headlines. Most student loan borrowers are conservative, or Republican, I should say, or independent. Most student loan borrowers are over the age of 35. Older student loan borrowers outnumber younger student loan borrowers. Not been reported. Well, it's been a little bit reported, but I don't think it's been broken that well. 64.3% of everybody were not making payments before the pandemic. That's never been reported. So we've broken news on 60 Minutes and in the New York Times and in the Wall Street Journal. We've broken some very serious stories in very serious places in the past, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know why the corporate / swamp media is so terrible these days. But we need your help to get those in front of good newspapers and other places, television stations, you name it. We need your help getting those stories broken. And if we have to break it on our own, just through our own guerrilla marketing, then that's what we'll do. And that's what we're going to have to do, because we cannot count on the media anymore. The media used to be good 15 years ago, and they've gotten just bad. Forbes is just the poster child of terrible, terrible, fake, corporate, slanted, corrupted media. And so, yeah, there's a million things you can do. Pick one. Be smart, be clever. At least do those daily actions. And please, guys, let's make this next week the strongest that we've ever seen. The stakes are highest right now. I kid you not. And just one other quick little thing. We went on a national broadcast this week, News Nation. It's kind of a Fox News-like station, and I'm going to do a quick screenshot here. It would be really, and we went into the lion's den, and we talked to a gentleman, Leland Vittert, from News Nation, and you can watch the interview for yourself, and you can see how hard and viciously antagonistic the interview was. I'm just going to do a quick screenshot so you can see the link. And here it is. News Nation. In fact, if you just Google News Nation and like, should Biden cancel student loan debt, you can find it. Have a look at that interview. We held our own. We would love to be doing an interview like that every freaking day with a station just like News Nation. I would love to go on Tucker Carlson. I would love to go on The War Room. I would love to go on Newsmax. We like to go into the lion's den, ladies and gentlemen. That's where this battle is won. So that I could not be more happy about the thing we did last week. Have a look, learn from it. You know, maybe you want to do some interviews on your own, by yourself, your own self, and that is fantastic. We love that. So there it is. With that, get ready for this week, guys. This is going to be the most important week in the 17-year history of our group's existence. And that is a true statement. So let's do it, guys. We need you. Good luck. Tell a friend about us. Godspeed. I'll see you tomorrow. And God bless everybody.